I am looking CNN. It is the lead story on CNN right now. Buck snort. It is, that blast. I have no idea. There is nothing left. Wow. That is just insane. So we'll be covering this throughout the day. Again, massive, massive blast it's Hickman County. So what is it, about 60 miles away from here, give or take? Something like that?
Yep.
And they're a military company, military-grade explosives, things of that nature. And so it's wooded. And then they've got, like a little area where they'd have, it seems like there's several different buildings on this, this complex. But the ones where the explosion, there's nothing left. And they're now saying some people dead on CNN, not just one. And several still unaccounted for, some in the hospital. Wow. Look at that. That looks like a war zone. That looks like an absolute war zone. So obviously, we don't know what happened. We don't know what took place. What we do know is, again, this morning, massive explosion at a facility that manufactures military-grade explosives. And there is, some people are reporting it's 19 people missing. I don't know how many people are actually missing because in times like this, stories are fluid, as we all know. And they're going to have, Ken, am I correct? They're going to have some sort of update here in a little bit?
That's what we were told.
Okay. Good God. It is, it looks like we droned it. That's what it looks like. Fires are still burning. And, man, imagine just going to work today and just all of a sudden, boom. That's it. Was it like a month ago at the, it was L.A. County, right? The bomb squad where they practiced. They got blown up. That was crazy, too. And everybody first says, was it terrorism? I don't know what any of this is. So nobody knows what's caused it. The mayor's come out and said nobody knows what's caused this. So because there's going to be a lot of, I've already seen it on the interwebs, kids, already. It's terrorism. It's this. It's that. How about a place that makes explosives? Sometimes things can go sideways. So we'll know more, I'm sure. Coming up a little bit. A lot of stuff to get to today. Trump didn't win the Nobel Peace Prize. Just want you guys know that. In case you guys didn't know that. By the way, the lady that did win it, she was contacted, and she dedicates it to Donald Trump. Part of the reason she did that is because she knows that Trump is probably coming with the military to help Venezuela. Oh, my Lord. You know what? We just can't have a normal day. I had all kinds of cool stuff. I was super excited to tell you, Ken, how proud I was of my daughter this morning. So proud. My wife made me a sandwich, and she says, I'd like a sandwich too. And my wife goes, what do you want on it, Charlie? She goes, I just want mayonnaise. She goes, you want cheese or anything? She goes, nope, just mayonnaise. She had a mayonnaise sandwich. I was like, so proud of you. She gets it. She doesn't listen to the show. Nope, she doesn't listen. She likes Buck and Clay. Oh, God, yeah. I am, you don't realize how massive and powerful certain things are. And, looking at this here, and again, we're supposed to have some sort of announcement and press conference, hopefully in a little while. Ken's digging up to see what else he can find. But the explosion is so massive. And some of the cars that are in certain areas, I can tell you those cars weren't in those areas to begin with. And it just, it looks like, it reminds me, I said earlier, it looks like sometimes when you see a plane crash at such a high velocity and all you see is a bit of the ditch or whatever, and then there's just some papers and some smolder, that's what it looks like. And it is a awful situation. And hopefully there weren't 19 people missing. Hopefully the number got wrong because, again, the fluid situation that these things are, people are running around, they're doing certain things. Not everybody knows where everybody is. And hopefully, God willing, this is a something that is they estimated it was 19 and it was only 3 or 4. God willing. God willing. Just insane. A lot of stuff to get to. Like I said, we're going to talk a bit about the Nobel Peace Prize. The lady that won it, and I say, this is the way I looked at the Nobel Peace Prize, because a lot of people, yesterday I was pulling for Trump, but I knew he wasn't going to win this year, right? It's like, if you want to get an Academy Award, so let's say I want, Bell and I produced the greatest movie of all time, but we're going to release it in February or maybe January. Well, guess what? If we don't release it this year, we're not going to be in the Oscars next year. It'll have to be the year after that. So I think next year, there's a good chance he gets it. There is a good chance. And, I know people gave the guy who runs the Nobel laureate thing, they gave him a bunch of crap because he was all, because everybody's like, he rolled his eyes at Trump. Because they asked him, hey, what do you think about Trump lobbying for this? Because he says he deserves it. And he goes, we get thousands of people to send us stuff every year. And you'd be surprised how many people lobby us, basically, who want it. Tons of people do. So, everybody just slow your roll. I think he's got a shot next year. Let's see, And even if this thing I don't expect it to be perfect. I don't expect this thing to last forever. I think there's going to be ebbs and flows in this. I think there's going to be times when they're going to go at each other a bit here and there. But I think it's going to be a little bit stronger because you've got people on the ground now that are a coalition of people that have nothing, to do as far as, well, maybe us a little bit more with Israel. But the fact that we're working with people in Gaza and Palestine, that's a win too. And they're trusting us. Understand, they're trusting us. Listening to people over there talk over the last couple of days saying, yeah, we're going to trust Trump. We're going to have to trust him, which is something you normally didn't get. They didn't want to trust the West. And they're like, we're going to have to trust him. And same thing with, we were talking about yesterday, Ken kept telling me, okay, they're still in the meeting because that thing didn't get done until late, early morning today, the passing of it. And the finance minister and which is the Smodrick guy, and Ben Gvir is kind of like their Department of War guy, their Ministry of Defense. Both of them said, don't take it. We're going to resign. And the hardcore right Zionists, they said no, but there was enough to pull them across the line. So you still have a lot of people inside the cabinet that want no part of this deal. Said that, nope, we should finish the deal. We should go do this. So it is it was close, but you know what? It got over the line. And I think Bibi said, look, guys, this wasn't a suggestion. This wasn't, hey, take it back to your pals and see if they're okay with this. This was, guess what? We're doing this. Well, we don't want to do it. Well, you know what? We're doing it. So we don't want to. Doesn't mean we're not going to, because we're going to do it. And they did. Officials will give an update soon. Deadly blast in Tennessee. It is ferocious. Bell, real quick, you can jump on the mic for me. Who's from there? Who did you say was from there?
I can't remember I think it was Minnie Pearl, but that might have been, I can't remember, to be honest. I think it was Minnie, but I'm not positive.
Yeah. So we're trying to figure it out today. But it is where it is. And if you guys are if you haven't seen the news and stuff, it is it's a huge complex. That's just like they bought acres and acres of stuff because they test stuff out. And there's several buildings on the complex, but you can't see, like if you're driving by the road, you're not going to be able to see it because the trees are everywhere. It's like a big forest. And in the middle of it, there were several buildings, and those buildings are gone. Done in certain areas. And not done, as somebody just said, because I said earlier about what it reminded me of, was it Bucks County is where that plane went down in 9/11? I think that's where it was, in Pennsylvania. And there was nothing there but a little hole, and then it was just a little bit of flames and just pieces of paper everywhere. That's what this looks like, except cars are on fire. It looks like it's the Middle East, like, stuff just got bombed. I mean, there is nothing there. Minnie Pearl, you're correct. Minnie, Loretta Lynn's from down there as well. So if Donald Trump wins it, can he keep it at the White House? It's yours to keep. So it's yours to keep. He's going to make it a belt. He is. So, Minnie Pearl, you were correct, sir. Minnie Pearl is from there. So we're going to have I think a press conference, they're going to update everybody. What we know so far is not a lot outside of the explosion and keep away. That's pretty much it. Keep away, explosion, nothing else. They don't know what caused it. They don't know anything other than that. So, because I've already seen the conspiracies everywhere, because I often wonder, how do you get a conspiracy up that fast? Because you got to think, okay, I got to get it in my mind. How do I get it going? I mean, within 30 minutes, there was already people going, you know who did this, right? I've seen the Mossad. That was a good one. I've seen, it was Antifa. Of course, Antifa's everywhere. Sometimes Occam's razor, military complex that creates explosives for weapons. Maybe something happened. Maybe. We'll see. And they're supposed to update us. I don't know when, but what we know and what they're reporting so far, and this is from just about every news site, is multiple people are dead or unaccounted for. Took place at 7:45 this morning, local time. Devastating blast. Humphrey County Sheriff Chris Davis said at a news conference, it is beyond devastating. They've got several people at the time that were totally unaccounted for. They do have folks, he said, that are deceased. And he used the word folks with an S. So that means a few. How many? Accurate Energetic Systems LLC. It's about an hour southwest of Nashville on the Hickman-Humphreys County line. So, and it is, my God, the power of explosives. Just insane. So we're going to be covering this. We're waiting for the press conference. We're going to take the press conference when it comes on because I want to hear what they have to say. Everybody, the ATF's there. I'm sure the FBI's there. The TBI is going to be there. Everybody you can think of is going to be there because you have to also, even though the Occam's razor, it may just be the explosives and something happened that caused some sort of chain reaction. You make sure you check off the boxes of everything because that's what you have to do. So we'll find out about this, a bunch of other stuff. We'll talk a little bit more about what's going on in Gaza, what the actual first phase looks like as well, how that breaks itself down. We've got your Finally Friday sounds, a bunch of other stuff. This is the Chad Benson Show at Super Talk 997. Yeah, that's modern politics, ma'am. I don't know if you're aware how this works. If they paid you guys, then we wouldn't be upset with them, and that would give them, well, they would have to just come back and do their job. And you couldn't blame somebody else. Oh, my goodness me. Trump said, no, I'm not meeting Xi, and is now threatening to put more tariffs on China. Something happened. Trump was supposed to go to South Korea, and then they were supposed to meet, and he abruptly canceled today. So I don't know what happened. One thing I do know is they're not blinking, which I think a lot of people thought that was going to happen. And he has threatened massive, massive tariffs over rare earth deposits. So it's just kind of a real quick, something happened. Next thing you know, now I'm not going. And of course, this is Trump, so it could change tomorrow. Xi could back down. Or they could just, we could see more and more of the tariffs, which is what's happening. He said one of the policies that we're calculating at this moment is a massive increase on tariffs on Chinese products coming in to the United States of America. He accused China of holding the globe captive using rare earth metal resources, which that was part of the strategy. For years, everybody said the Belt and Road Initiative is all about getting into places where they could get all of the rare earth minerals, and then everybody was going to have to go to them to get them, which is a smart strategy. I mean, it sounds horrible, but how could you? It's a smart strategy. How's that not? If we could do it, we would, but we didn't because we didn't calculate it. That's why we have to double, triple, make sure that Venezuela doesn't have any of our rare earth minerals have gone missing. Have you guys seen them? We had them in our sock drawer, and then next thing we know, one of you guys was going through our stuff, so we're going to have to go through all of yours. Okay. I was pushing buttons in there. Here we go. Doing this again. There it is. Pushing the buttons. There we go. We're having fun. A lot of stuff still to get to today. We're, again, keeping our eye on the massive explosion not too far away from here, about 60-ish miles, give or take. Huge explosion at a facility that has military-grade explosives, weapons. I'm not quite sure exactly what they do. It's called AES, and what we do know is several people are missing, and there are people that are dead. How many? Don't know. They reported 19 missing earlier, but in any situation like this, understand that these things are fluid. So, you think somebody was there today at work. They may not have been there. All those kind of things happen. So, God willing, there isn't 19 people that have gone missing or died. But we're going to find out more. Ken has all the latest right here. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
12:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. We'll get you the latest on that blast in Hickman County in a moment. But first, President Trump has initiated mass layoffs of federal workers under the government shutdown, following through on threats to downsize the government. These layoffs being carried out as reductions in force, which permanently eliminate job positions rather than temporarily furloughing employees. The Office of Management and Budget confirming that they've started, although they haven't disclosed the exact number of affected employees or which agencies are being targeted. Reports say multiple people are dead following a blast at the Accurate Energetic Systems munitions plant in Hickman County, about an hour drive southwest of Nashville. Tennesseans from entire counties away report hearing and feeling the blast, including Will Nunley of Linden, Tennessee, who tells WTN's Chris Hanshow.
And I heard it just as if it would have happened 2 blocks away. I mean, just a massive boom that rattled the house, I would say, for several seconds.
Happened at Accurate Energetic Systems in McEwen. Here's Matt Rivers.
This is a company that makes a very wide array of different types of explosives for the military, aerospace, commercial, demolition. They're talking about TNT, claymore mines, avalanche control charges, pellets that are used in medium caliber warheads. There are a lot of things at this facility that are produced that explode.
So the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency says it has deployed district coordinators to support local response efforts. Accurate Energetic Systems has established a family assistance center. TEMA says it stands ready to assist the impacted families at this time. They are urging the public to avoid the area there around Bucksnort to allow emergency responders to work safely and efficiently. We're also monitoring Fort Campbell, where there was a security threat this morning at Gate 10, but officials have not said exactly what that threat was, only that the situation has been resolved and the gate remains closed until further notice, while law enforcement and emergency services continue to search and clear the area. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Still waiting to find out if there's going to be some sort of press conference coming up soon for the massive explosion that took place today at Accurate. Is it Accurate Energetic Systems?
Accurate Energetic Systems, yes.
Good God, man. That is a hell of an explosion. So their Facebook page says they manufacture various high explosive composites and specialty products for the U.S. Department of Defense and industrial markets. That must mean they make stuff that blows buildings up. So a couple people have texted in that said they worked there. Said it's, you know what, they got lots of stuff. I'm not saying what he's going to say, but just say that there is they TNT, C4. They've got a lot of other stuff, tons of other explosives and ammo, as well as they said it's super gated. You can't even have like phones and lighters or any of that stuff in there. So it's, man, I'm telling you what.
Sounds like a tinderbox.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure I want to work somewhere. I mean, the pay must have been good, right? But you're going into work with a place that stuff explodes. That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a terrible day for these families, man.
Yeah.
Terrible day.
Like you say, I mean, you're going to work and you don't think anything other than, I'm just going to work today.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're not coming home. That's not happening. And maybe people that you're working with are also not coming home, and not coming home like in a way that you couldn't even imagine. And the look, I mean, every time they show a new picture, you're just like, what was there? You know, when you see a building site and the only thing that you see are pipes at first, in the ground, that's all you see in some of these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just absolutely frightening. And I know we're going to have some sort of, I guess they're going to have an update.
Well, that's what that's what we were told by the guy that called us, who was there on the scene, Will Nunley, who is a farmer there, who heard and felt the blast from an entire county away.
Which
he
is
also
crazy.
runs a radio station down in that area, and he gave us some very great reporting. But he said that authorities, at the time we were speaking to him, planned on having a media briefing at noon, but I don't think that has happened yet.
No, in fact, they said Tennessee officials here on CNN said they're setting stuff up. They're going to have some sort of briefing here in a little bit. I remember I was telling you, so my mother owned they had a big glass company, glazing company. The busiest they were ever in Southern California. Now think about this. California is one of those things where you have earthquakes, you have all these kind of things, and we don't have hurricanes or anything like that. But the Chevron station exploded. So the refinery exploded. Now, I don't think it killed anybody. Just like the one last weekend. I don't know if you saw in Southern California, there was a massive explosion at a refinery. But it blew the windows out for like several miles. And luckily, nobody died because it went up instead of out. This here went out. And the fact that, I was telling Dan's like, I'm surprised we haven't seen any video. I said, Dan, the thing is, where are you going to see video? Because it's in the middle of a forest. So it's not like it's a house. It's in a neighborhood where everybody's got their Ring doorbells. You can see and hear the explosion. I know he played a couple of them earlier, but you're not going to, there's no Ring doorbells and cameras around there for a reason, because they're making stuff that's, kind of secret. That's kind of the best way to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, it was Ring doorbell cameras from a county away that picked up the blast.
Yeah.
So, and in the blast that we have, you hear what sounds like an explosion, and then you hear boom. I mean, I'll just play it.
Okay.
Very quickly. Let's see. So it sounds like there's almost 2 explosions. Let's see where is that at? Okay, here we go. You might turn me up a little bit there, Brother RJ. Turn it up a little bit higher. Okay. All right, let's try this again.
Oh.
So there's the initial blast, then the big blast, and then listen as it is just echoing.
The sound's just moving right through there, like because it moves. God, so fast.
And you think about this, Brother Chad, a munitions plant. In my mind, I'm thinking there's a lot of explosives sitting around.
Yeah.
And you might hear boom, bam, boom, one going off after another. It sounds like this place like there's the initial boom and then the entire place just in one big blast goes.
So, shockwave. That first, it's a chain reaction, right? And it only takes a little tiny, because at first, when I first heard it, I thought it almost sounds like a gunfire, that first one. And then everything takes off.
Yes.
So,
but I mean, I don't know if you'd pick up a gunshot from that far away. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
And they haven't said yet, but
no.
Yeah, the images right now, that place is gone.
Yeah, there is no, there's nothing. I mean, I don't know what was there, but I know that whatever it was a fairly decent-sized building, and now all that's there is where the building used to be, and a couple burning trucks. Man, that is just, and I know they come out and they said there's 19 missing. I don't know how many people were there, and you're hoping some people just didn't make it to work that day, or they were late, or they were in another building, maybe on the complex or whatever, because I don't think you're going to find somebody in a tree somewhere or, still alive.
It'd be great if you did.
But
from the looks of that, if anybody was in that building, it is going to be a miracle if they survive.
Yeah, it would be an absolute miracle.
They do happen. They do happen.
There's miracles do happen. You're 100% right. Miracles do happen. And God willing, though, that there were only a few people in that building, and they've already said there are multiple deaths. How many? I don't know. I know the sheriff came out and said that it's going to be days before, they have really kind of an idea of what took place. But I would assume you work around explosives. I'm not saying anything nefarious happened, because that's what the FBI and the ATF are going to look at, and I'm sure Department of Homeland Security will come out. But God, just you go to work. Just thinking tonight's Friday.
Yeah.
And then it's over like that. In a small town, too, several people have chimed in and said they work there at one time or another. It's just a lot of family and friends that work there.
Sure.
Small town. Everybody kind of knows each other. So have you been there?
I've never been there. I've driven by. You drive by Bucksnort, right there off I-40.
Yeah.
But I've never been off the interstate in that area.
It's just it's rubble. That's what it is, rubble. And I don't know how many, because the complex or the area they have is very big, right? It's hundreds of acres, if I'm correct. Because, you're obviously not going to do this in the middle of the city.
No.
So you have to be away from people. And I don't know if there were other buildings, it looks like, that are on, like you go through they said that it's gated, fenced, they got all this stuff. Well, yeah, it's explosives. And then, let's say several people who worked there said it could be anything. A lot of people said that at one time or another they worked there. They said a lot of this stuff, though, is much more stable than you think. So, again, a horrible situation. We're going to keep an eye on it. They're supposed to have a press conference, and I don't know if the FBI is sending people out there too to have because a lot of times, if you're going to end up having to pass it off to somebody who's got in a higher pay grade than you might have to wait for them to get there. But what we do know is several people still missing. There are some people that are dead, and it was massive explosion. That's the kind of thing you'd see on a Richter scale if you had one.
Yeah. People as far away as Williamson and Murray counties said they felt it.
So, my goodness.
And then Stefano DiPietro was actually showing radar picking up the smoke.
Oh, wow.
That came from the facility after the blast.
All that's there now is smolder. And I was saying, Ken, some of those cars where you see them, those cars weren't there. They weren't parked there. They were moved there by the explosion. You could tell some of them had just been thrown around. Oh, good. What can't have a normal Friday? I thought, I got some fun stories to tell today. We're going to come in and we're going to do this. And the next thing you know, we heard about this. What happened at Campbell? What'd you say? There was somebody tried to breach?
The Army is not saying exactly, but there was a security threat at Gate 10. They evacuated personnel and families near there, and they say everything's under control now, but Gate 10 remains closed until further notice while they investigate and clear the area. Of what they're clearing, they are not saying. So we have no official word on what exactly the threat was. But, of course, you've got social media.
Yeah, well, trust me, social media's already told us what it is.
Right.
So we don't even need to go to the news, right? Social media's told us everything. Somebody, I'm sure the Jews are going to get blamed, somebody for something. Then there's going to be Antifa. That'll be the Chinese, of course. And then incompetence. And then, who knows what else. Of course, you got to think of jihad and the Al-Qaeda, ISIS. I don't even know who's around anymore.
And who knows? I mean, maybe what's circulating on social media is accurate, but I've got to go with what officials say.
Yeah, and the other thing is, even when stuff's accurate, too often it's been missed 5 times before you get to the accurate part.
Right. Yes.
I was like, oh no, it wasn't this guy. Because I remember, what was it, the Charlie Kirk thing? You know how many people posted stuff of other people that this is the person that did it, this is the person that, and none of that was real. And it's the same thing, here, I'm already seeing a bunch of stuff pop in, and I'm just laughing. Just like, it's not, you don't know anything. You're not even, you're just putting stuff out there because you want to stir the pot and get a lot of likes and clicks. And I've never got that. I don't get it. Like you said, man, I'm going to measure twice, sometimes 3 times before I cut. Oh, speaking of measuring, did you get yours, Ken? We got our food. I don't know if
you... Goo Goo Cluster.
Goo Goo Clusters. All right, we got the Goo Goo Clusters. It is awesome. Commissioner Stewart, was it McWhorter, came in, and they dropped off the stuff for us today because they heard us talking about it yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you.
And so they heard us talking, and I'm like, all right, you know what? You're good people. You're good people, so we're going to do this. We're going to try some of these Goo Goo Clusters. See how this goes. Now, we got the original, the pecan, and the peanut butter. I'm excited for this. Did you hear my daughter had a mayonnaise sandwich?
I did hear that.
So awesome, man. She just loved it. Mayonnaise she knows. She gets it. She understands mayonnaise is the greatest of all condiments. She likes mayonnaise, and she likes sour cream. That's her jam. A little bit of ketchup. But those other two, those are the winners. All right, coming up, we're still waiting to hear from the officials out there in Buckshot. Massive explosion today. They're going to be giving an update, hopefully in the next 15, 20 minutes. We'll carry that. Ken's going to have the latest on everything. This is Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. All right, Ken, I crack one of these Goo Goo Clusters open.
How you like that?
I'm eating the peanut butter one.
Yeah.
It's freaking amazing.
Yeah, they're good.
Oh, this thing comes with diabetes. It's so good. It is amazing. I cannot believe. And several people said, just do the peanut butter one. That's all you'll ever dream of. You're correct in that. You're absolutely correct in that.
If only we had some mayonnaise.
Only we had the mayonnaise, baby. This mayonnaise. Somebody called me a libtard. I don't even know what I've said that's been libtarded. How did we get there? Have I said anything that's dangerous or crazy or wounded someone's feelings?
You said that there might be people that think the Mossad blew the factory up. And that's
no, but that wasn't. Somebody text that in, not me. Somebody text that in, and then the person after them texted, "Has anybody blamed the Jews yet?" Again, none of those are my sayings. I would, no problem saying stuff, but that wasn't me. So
we got to give proper attribution.
That's right. So, yeah, Steven, get down with your Goo Goo Cluster. I got to be honest with you. Oh, the peanut butter one is amazing. So these are awesome. I don't know where you guys been hiding these things. You know what? Good that you're hiding them. Don't tell me anymore where you're hiding them. Because I would walk in and buy way too many of them. That's why you don't go to we have this gourmet donut place near our house. Will not go there. Will not. Because I know I'm going to go in there and I'm going to buy a donut and then I'm going to go, it's within walking distance. And in my mind, I'll work it out. It's like, you know what? It's like a little workout. I go, I walk over, I get my donut, I burn the calories, walk back. No.
And then you go, more.
Oh, yeah, good. Although now everything's so damn expensive. I was surprised how expensive a dozen donuts from Krispy Kreme was.
Yeah, what was that again?
$19.
$19 for
$19. That's crazy. That is. The Russians blew it up, said one person. Somebody's going to say, oh, now you hate the Russians. You're Russian Semitic. Is that even a word? Russianism? No, I made that one up. Oh, goodness me. Coming up, a lot of stuff to get to. We'll talk a little bit more about what's going on in Israel. That's interesting. And I got an interesting story about something that was huge news a little while ago and how I came about it. It was just a trip last night. Talk a little bit about that. And again, we're going to keep you updated. We're supposed to have a press conference about the massive explosion that took place about 7:45 this morning, about 60 miles outside of Nashville. And it is a horror show. I mean, it's apocalyptic where the explosion was. So we're waiting to get the press conference. We'll carry it live as soon as it is available to us. It is Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.